Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and I am doing my Free Fridays art journal project today, and I'm looking at this page that I've worked on trying to figure out what to do with it. And I think I'm just going to treat it like a background and go from there. So I have this big stencil that I use when I do my jelly plate printing. And I'm going to use that, and I'm going to go over this with some white paint, first of all, and see if that knocks it back enough to... It's so crazy. I feel like it needs to be quieter. And so I'm going to take my golden titanium white acrylic paint, put that on there and see what happens. See if that... It's either going to make it louder or quieter. We'll see. So, let's see. I need a big brush. And I think I need to actually kind of daub this on, or I'm going to end up getting it under the stencil. So, probably could find an applicator that works better than this, but this is what I picked up. So I'm going to go ahead with it. Ha! Wow. Okay, so I'm not even seeing the flower print on there. All right. Well, okay. Well, that did not work like I thought it would. So I am going to try this technique. So I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so here's where I ended up. And so to me, I like to create an image and then kind of look for what that feels like to me and look for verse. And this looks like kind of, to me, it looks like trouble or just agitation, chaos, not good things. And so I had this was a page out of a scrapbook paper thing from Illustrated Faith, and they had all these tags, and I cut them each one out, and then I looked them up and printed out what they said so I could have them handy to use. And so I looked through these just a minute ago, and I thought this one that says, it's John 16:33, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And so I feel like I want to use that scripture here and maybe put it in some fabric, just sort of like it's a little safe place, so to speak. Does that make sense? So I've had these for 2 years and I keep forgetting I've got them over there. There it is, John 16:33. So I'm going to cut this out. So I'm going to go back to the junk journaling, my roots at junk journaling, and do distress ink on the edge of this, just to make it look a little more aged, have a little more character. It's cool because the colors of this tag just happen to go really well with this page. So that's nice. And then I'm going to take a piece of baker's twine and maybe the orange, since that's sort of the colors in the page. And I'm going to cut this out some more. I need to figure out what I'm going to make my sort of covering in this world of trouble. It says I have overcome the world. So I am going to think about that, look at my scraps, and then I'll come back with it. Okay, so I found a few things and had a few ideas. And I decided that Faith is what overcomes the world. And so the shield of faith would be a great thing to make. So I started thinking about, well, what would that look like? A shield of faith, probably out of metal. Oh, so also I found this velvet because I thought, well, it needed to be something like soft and comforting before I went to the shield of faith. And I found this velvet that I got in a scrap thing from Etsy with these circles punched out of it. And I just kind of thought it went with this page. So I thought I would cut a chunk of it out and just add it to the page as a layer. And then have the shield of faith on top of that. So I'm just going to cut a chunk of this out. And use my Fabri-Tac. See if I can get this to attach in an orderly manner. Like that, just as another design element. And then this, I think I'm just going to glue it on. Now, I think I will tie another knot up here. Okay, I spared you the anguish of watching me use my Fabri-Tac. I had to end up refilling my bottle and so on and so forth. But I put the Fabri-Tac just on the edges just to hold it down. And so, I mean, the tactile quality of this is just great. And now I'm going to do a shield, and I don't have any metal, so I thought I would use a piece of black paper, and I'm going to try using Rub and Buff in silver and see if that gets me to a metallic look. And so to make my shield, I need a piece of scrap paper. It used to be called a steno pad. I don't know what is, are there still stenographers? I don't think there are, so. And then I'm going to cut what I think is a shield shape. And let's see, maybe it goes up like that. Okay, and then I'm going to get a pencil, trace around that, cut it out. Okay, so something like that. Move this just a little bit out of the way. I've got all these images laying out that I want to use for something. I tore that out of that scrapbook too. Okay, so let's see, this silver leaf. All right, let's see if we can get this, enough of this to turn this into a silver shield. Looks like I better put something under it. Good heavens. Now I'm gonna need something to take that off my fingers so I don't look like the Tin Man on the Wizard of Oz. Okay, so there's my shield. Here's my words. And so now I'm like, well, do I want to, I think I'm going to distress this too. And, all right. So that sort of conveys my feeling about this. And now the question is, how do I glue this to this? I don't know if this isn't dry for one thing. I think I might let this cure or dry or whatever the stuff does before I try to, yeah, see that's still wet. And it does look kind of good on that orange. Orange? Yeah, that way it's not all on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to use my art glitter glue and glue the top of it down. I don't really need it all to be glued flat. So it's going to go over the velvet and kind of stick up, but that's okay. I just need it to be attached to the page. Okay, now as I look at this doesn't stand out as much because this is white over here. So I'm kind of thinking, actually, I'm going to add some, I have an orange, one of these Lindy sprays. Comes in a really nice, red hot poker orange. So I'm going to take that and shake it up for one thing. And this is the one that the sprayer doesn't work in anymore. So I'm gonna just open this up and see if I can keep from making a big mess. I'm gonna take a brush. Let me do that. And while I'm at it, because this is mica spray, it'll shimmer. I'm going to add some up here to add a little bit of shimmer to the rest of this thing. And then see if I can get this to move. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was not a problem. Okay. See if that gives me a little more contrast. Yeah, there. So the shield will show up better. Okay, cool. So I'm going to let that dry, and then glue this down. And so that will be the final image. I won't show it. I'm not going to come back and show it on this video, but later on as you go through here, you'll see it in its finished state. But that's pretty much how it's going to look. So there's that. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.